So I was scrolling on my channel and I came across my Summer Recs and TBR video, and I thought, why don't I give you guys an update? So that's what we're going to be doing today, you guys. Welcome back to my channel if you are new here. I have this huge stack of books from that video, and I actually have a few that I didn't mention as well, just because I did read a few more. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. I have no idea how many summer books I've read, but I do have a few videos on my channel if you guys want to check them out. I think I did a decent job at tackling my summer TBR, and I thought it would be cool to do this every season or so. I have here A Love Wager by Lynn Painter, and I actually really liked this book. I love Lynn Painter's writing. I think this is very bingeable, and it was just really fun. This one follows Mr. Wrong Number. I think they're both like standalone, but that was like my first Lynn Painter book. I think that was like an adult romance. This is also another adult romance by Lynn Painter. I totally forgot the relationship that these characters have to the other characters in the first book, but this one is about Haley and Jack. They hooked up for the night, and then later on she comes across his name or profile on a dating app. I think they're going to be each other's wingman in search of finding the one, and along the way they go on like these fake dates and all of that. So I just love this book. It's really fun, and first book on my summer TBR list, check. Then I had a series on my summer TBR, and that would be the Chestnut Spring series. And tell me why I am still not done with the entire series. I really want to get through this, but I'm slowly reading it. I've only read the first book, Flawless, and this one is about Summer and Rhett. I think he's a bull rider and she works for his like agency, and basically I love the banter between the two characters. I thought this was a fun summer read and I would highly recommend. But the second book is Heartless, and then third book is Powerless, fourth book is Reckless. The fifth one is actually coming out called Hopeless, so I really need to get onto these books. Then I have Simmer Down by Sarah Smith, and this is a book that I haven't gotten to yet, so this is an X on my list. This one is like a food truck competition, kind of like Enemies to Lovers, and I'm just really intrigued. I think you guys will see this in a reading vlog soon. The next book I read was Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, and I was actually surprised that I enjoyed this more than I thought I would. It was a very great book. There was a trope in here that I didn't like, and it has that now and then timeline, which I also usually don't like. I would say this is like a second chance, and basically this is about Percy and Sam. So they spent summers together, they were inseparable, and then something happened between them. Got a call back later in the future to come back for Sam's mother's funeral, and that's when they see each other, and it's kind of like what will happen. Will they confront the issue that they had before? Then I also did read The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I actually just read this book not too long ago, so I will link the reading vlog above because I really enjoyed that one. So this one is a fun one. This basically is about Olive, and she has a twin that is getting married. Everyone got food poisoning at the wedding besides her and Ethan, and so her sister was like, hey, go on this honeymoon, enjoy it. And Ethan is like, I'm gonna go, I don't care if you go or not. And basically she's like, I hate him. This book was really fun. They went on the trip together, and there's like a bunch of other things in this book, so I really enjoyed it, and I think I gave this like a 4-star rating, so would highly recommend this book for the summertime. Then I have One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I did not read this one yet, so I really want to read this one. It's a pretty thin book. I think this would be a fast read because I love her writing style. It's just that I feel like I have to be in the mood for her books, and usually I'm just into the light fluffy reads, so I do think I need to read this one soon. I don't know, maybe early next year. This book is basically about Emma. She marries her high school sweetheart Jesse. On their first wedding anniversary, Jesse is on this assignment, and then the helicopter goes missing, so he's like nowhere to be found. Eventually she gets engaged to someone else because she's like, my husband is probably gone, and unexpectedly I think he comes back, and that's the part where I don't know what's going to happen next. So every time I read the synopsis of this book, it sounds very intriguing. So I don't know why I haven't picked it up, but I've heard some great things about this one, so I look forward to reading this one maybe next summer. Okay, I have Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and this was my first read by Emily Henry. I actually gave this book a 5-star. I loved it, and basically this one is a small town romance about Nora. She is like a workaholic. Then one day her sister convinces her to go back to this small town where I think one of her clients will mention this little small town in their work. So she's like, hey, I should go to kind of like know the place a little bit better. That's when she bumps into, I guess, an enemy or like her competitor, and his name is Charlie. Charlie is also an editor from the city. I think it's really cute. Everywhere she goes, she's like bumping into him, and I don't know, I always feel like there's more depth in Emily Henry's books, so I would highly recommend reading this one. Then I have Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch, and this is the first book. I think this is a YA romance. Have no idea what this one is about, besides I think the fact that Lena is spending the summer in Tuscany. Her mom's dying wish is that she gets to know her father, but what kind of father isn't around for 16 years? All Lena wants to do is go back home, but then she's given a journal that her mom had kept when she lived in Italy. Suddenly, Lena's uncovering a magical world of secret romances, art, and hidden bakeries. So along the way, she finds Ren. It also says people come to Italy for love and gelato. Someone tells her, but sometimes they discover much more. So it just sounds really cool. I don't know why I haven't picked this up. I think I might pick this up if I'm like going on vacation or something, but I just love the setting of this book. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Then I have Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I actually did read this one as well, and this is another second chance romance similar to Every Summer After, and I read those two books in the same reading vlog if you guys want to check it out. This one is about Macy and Elliot. Macy is a pediatrics resident. She's like engaged, and one day she runs into Elliot, who was like her bestie when she was younger, and for some reason she just left and they haven't seen each other in a long time. So now that they're, you know, bumping into each other, they talk about what happened, and it just takes you back to their past. It's just a really sweet book. I really did enjoy this one. I did cry. So that's all I'm going to say about this one. Next up is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is the first book in the Off Campus series, and I did not read this book. It's a sports romance, and you guys know how I feel about sports romance. I just love all of them. This one is about Hannah and Garrett. I think they like hooked up one day, and now Garrett realizes that he wants her more than he thought, and she has like a baggage. So I think this is a hockey romance, and I can't wait to get into the series. Another classic summer read is When in Rome by Sarah Adams, and I love Sarah Adams books. I read When in Rome this past summer. I think I gave this one a 3-star, but it is another small town. One of them is famous. So basically Amelia Rose is a pop star, and she runs away to Rome, Kentucky. She bumps into Noah, and he lets her stay at his place, and he's like running this pie shop. It's just very cute and a really fast read too. I think this book only has like it's like around 300 pages, so I was really happy that I picked this one up. It was another popular summer book. The second book following that one, I read Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams as well. This one is about Noah's sister Annie and also Amelia's bodyguard. It was just really sweet. I loved this book a lot more than this one, so I would highly recommend this book. It says that she's on a quest to find her perfect match, someone who complements her happy, quiet life running the local shop in Rome. Because she's in this small town, everyone has this like idea of her, and and then Will comes along and he's like this bodyguard, tatted. Along the way he helps her rediscover herself or who she really is. So I thought this was a very cute, I think it's like a fake dating kind of thing, so I really enjoyed reading both of these books. So I have a couple more books to share. The next book that was on my summer TBR list was Happy Place by Emily Henry, and I did read this book. I read this one really late. I did tap this book a little bit, but I was really happy that I read this one, and it wasn't exactly what I had expected. I knew that going into this book from just like the little note she had on the front of this book. I did give this one a 3.5 stars, and I still would highly recommend this book because I really liked the ending of it. It's just that I enjoyed it, but I don't really remember much about the book. I did like the message towards the end, so I'm glad that I did get to read this one this summer. The last book on my TBR was Taylor Jenkins Reid, Carrie Soto is Back, and also this one is another book that I haven't read yet, but I am reading this one soon, so you guys will also see that. And I'm very excited because I think this one will just be up my alley because I played tennis. I really enjoy tennis, so this one is basically she's coming out of retirement, I think, to compete. I'm very intrigued to see what else there is to this book, but stay tuned for my reading vlog. I would say that I did a great job at reading my summer TBR. I will leave the total books that I've read this summer, and also I have 3 other books to share because they're also popular summer books, and I didn't put them on my TBR because I thought, you know, all of these books would be a good amount. So the first book I want to talk about is Catherine Centered, The Bodyguard. This is probably one of my favorites for summer because I gave this one a 5-star, and it was literally perfection. Everything you want in a summer book, it was in this one. This one has, one of them is famous, also Bodyguard, I guess you can say, romance and fake dating. So basically in this one it's about Hannah Brooks and Jack. Jack is a famous star. Basically he went kind of low-key for a while, and now I think he is trying to go back into the spotlight. I forgot already, but Hannah is part of the Executive Protection Agency, aka the Bodyguard, so she's hired to be his fake girlfriend and just protect him. Along the way their relationship builds, and I just think this was so cute. It was like perfectly written. It was also very funny, and I really enjoyed this one a lot. I also did get to read Beach Read by Emily Henry, and I really enjoyed this one as well. I think I gave this a 4.75. It was really close to a 5-star. The story was beautiful and it was just very interesting. This one is basically about Gus and January. They're both, I would say, in a book slump, and they're both writers, so they need to write a new book, and she's back in this small town. I don't know if it's a small town, but she's like at this beach house, and he's actually her neighbor. In the beginning they didn't really get along, or so she thought, that he didn't really like her because they knew each other in the past, and now they're basically going to switch genres. It was just very interesting to see like the whole process. There's a lot more to the story, and I would highly recommend this one. The last summer book that I've read was It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I actually picked this up later compared to the rest of them, so I thought I wouldn't be able to get to this one until like maybe next summer or something, but you guys, I was so happy that I picked this one up. I gave this one a 5-star rating because it was just so fun. This one is actually spicy, so if you guys do like spice, then I think this one would be a great summer book. This book is about Piper and Brandon. Piper is like famous, and she's like a troublemaker. She's a party girl, and her stepdad sends her back to this small town where her dad actually was from, and she bumps into Brandon. He is the fisherman, basically in charge of this like small town, and she's also back with her sister trying to repair the shop that they actually own, and along the way Brandon is finding himself helping her, and it was so cute. I loved this book. It was so sweet. Really gave me that small town feeling, which is rare because I don't really like small town books, but this one really helped me kind of like be more into the small town books. I've been hearing a lot about this book, and I just didn't know what it was all about, so I'm very happy that this was my first Tessa Bailey read. So those were all of the summer books from my TBR. I'm so happy that I was able to go back and give you guys my thoughts on the books and actually see if I stuck to my TBR or not. Let me know how you guys did with your summer TBR. I already have my fall TBR video up if you guys want to check that out, and of course I will go back and let you guys know everything later on. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.